Hi again, everyone. I'm Ollie Matthews. This is the Narcissistic Resistance. And this resistance video is sponsored by contribution from Kayleigh. And here's her story. Hi, I'm Kayleigh, and I suffer from narcissistic abuse from my mother. This has been very hard for me to explain the truth of what happened to me all my life because I was forced to forget about it, and I was manipulated so much into thinking it didn't happen at all, that I made it all up. If I speak about it at all to anyone, it would just mean I'm getting attention or I'm just starting drama. And when I would talk about it and nobody would believe me, they would tell me that it's just how mothers are. That's just your opinion. All mothers are like that. She's just trying to look out for you. And what would get me so angry, because they don't get it. They don't understand. My mother has controlled every aspect of my entire life. When she was working, she asked anybody if they could babysit me. I remember one time she brought me to this woman's house, and I'm like 3 years old, and I was not potty trained. And I accidentally peed on her floor, and her son told me, and she picks me up and forcibly goes outside and throws me on the concrete, making me bust my lip open. Then lies to my mom that nothing happened and I just fell. When she got a divorce with my biological dad, she never let me see him or my older brother. I couldn't go to his place at all during the summer, and if we did go down there, I had to be supervised the whole time. And she would always make up excuses about him of why he never visits me, or how he's a terrible person, a bad influence, and is unable to keep an eye on me, making it seem like it was impossible to love him. And then when I was going to school, she takes me out of the third grade because she thought the kids were bullying me when they weren't, and homeschooled me for 3 years. And during that time, she had my little brother, and she quit teaching me school. I didn't learn anything I really needed to learn, which crippled me deeply, especially with words, because she didn't want me to figure out how to speak the truth when it was time for me to speak up about it. She kept me locked away during that time. I couldn't see any of my friends. And then she started making my little brother the golden child, giving him all the attention and just neglected me. So I became envious of him, and I did not get along with him at all because he started getting better gifts than me, and she would talk to him all lovingly and boosting his confidence up. So whenever he would brag about something, it just made me so angry and jealous. So we would get into fights a lot, and my mom would always take up for him and blame me for starting it. She would always say, "Kayleigh, you're his older sister. That's not how sisters treat their brothers." This was one time around Christmas. My little brother got a remote control monster truck, and he drove it into my back purposefully, and it hurt. So when I go to hit my mom, picks up a book and throws it. All right, so when I go to hit him, So when I go to hit him, my mom picks up a book and throws it at my face. And then when I got a little bit older, it didn't matter. My brother took one of these Sesame Street, it was like a big plastic thing that you push the button, and the character would pop out. It was a big thing. I was on the floor on the couch. Okay, he had to be like 4 years old. I was, so that made me what? If he was 4, what am I, 5 years? I was like 9. So I was like 9 or 10. And he takes this thing and just smashes it over him, just for no reason in front of my father. Just crushes it over my head, like to the point the batteries came flying out. Like the batteries went, and he laughs, and I go, and my father grabs me and just throws me across the room. And let's my brother just keep laughing and giggling about it. For no wonder, no wonder. I got a little bit older, almost my teenage years. I remember it was summer and I was looking for my bikini top in the dryer, and my mom comes and asks me, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm looking for my bikini top," and then all of a sudden she slaps me across my face because she thought I was getting an attitude with her. So when I started school, my mother was great at that, the random slaps, and you're just answering a normal question and you get slapped in the face for giving that fit. What? I don't like the way you said that. What? So when I started school at 7th grade, that's when the abuse really took place. We would get into it every night, and she would call me dumb, stupid, or "You're doing this wrong, you can't do anything right." And when I would go to my room, she would follow me. My door was not shut properly, so I can't lock it, and it gives her power because she comes in my room anytime she feels like it and starts attacking me, making me listen to every word she has to say, and I couldn't get a say. I couldn't get a say so or nothing. It had to be her way or no way. And when I would get angry, she would shut me down, saying, "There's no reason for you to be angry. You're acting like a child. Grow up," or "That's really immature." The only place in this house I felt safe to be in was the bathroom because I could lock the door. That's that's the battle of growing up with these people, is figuring out a way, finding a lock they can't get through. That's basically the way I could summarize my childhood, was trying to find a lock my parents couldn't get through. Oops. I could never express my anger. I couldn't cry either around her because she would use it against me and make it all about her, using guilt trips against me. And with my friends, she would never let me do things with them, like go to the skating rink, go to the skating rink, lock-ins, because she thought it was dangerous and that someone would kidnap me. Or if I went to the movie, she would come in with me and my friends, and she would sit a few rows back. Or when I wanted to stay over at my friend's house, she would question me like an FBI agent for 30 minutes to an hour and finally let me go. And when I tried to stay out all weekend if I could, just to get away. When I started liking boys, she hated that, and she would tell me every excuse not to date them, and that I should wait till I got married to a guy that she approved of. She would sexually manipulate me, telling me sex is evil. It doesn't feel good. You shouldn't be doing it at all. It's degrading. It's nothing special. She would walk in on me and make me feel bad about my body parts. When I actually started dating, she would judge and accuse every boyfriend I had just to make me break up with them because it wasn't her choice of men. And she got really furious when I started to date guys that were not my race. She hated that because she is racist, and she said she does not want mixed grandbabies running around. This made me so angry because I love everyone. I don't see a difference. I'm blind to that. I don't see color. The only color I see is red. I actually felt accepted by other races, which made me hate my skin color because it just seems like everyone else was able to be themselves when I had to hide who I really am. Here's why you relate, and I because I originally was contacted by Kayleigh over Facebook. So she's either married to or in a relationship with a black guy, which is fine. Like, again, no problem. That's who you love. That's who you relate to. And I think one of the reasons is you and your husband were probably raised very similarly, very similar type of mothers, which I explained this to, I forgot her name. It was very Sunny, her name was, and she's mixed race. She's half white, half black, and you know, it's that though she was raised by her white mother and white stepfather, but she was still raised in that same type of experience that a majority of black people are raised in. So that's probably, I mean, that could have a big difference. Not that you don't love your husband or your boyfriend and it's fake, but that's probably why you're more drawn to and attracted to somebody of the opposite race, or a different race, not the opposite race, a different race, because you were raised similarly. It's not about race. It's about what you can relate to. And two people from different races, through abuse, I guess you can find love and be able to relate through this, because you were both raised, both speak basically the same language, I would imagine, and understand where you're coming from. So when I graduated high school, there was this one fight we had when she was bashing me with hateful words, and it made me furious that I couldn't keep it in any longer. I couldn't listen to her saying all these lies about me, so I punched my window and broke it. When I did, she got even more angry with me. So I called my boyfriend at the time to come pick me up, and then I moved out with him. Even though I moved out, she was still controlling me. She would blow up my phone, threaten me. It was never ending. There have been many times where she would put me in the mental hospital because that's where I belong. So I started doing drugs to escape this pain I was in, and cope with it and help feel good to survive my madness. Yeah. Then my boyfriend breaks up with me. Well, he cheats on me, and that made me want to do drugs heavily because I was so broken. I became addicted for 6 years. Then all of a sudden I started having mental breakdowns, and she forced me to go into a mental hospital. I have been in 9 different mental hospitals, all because I get so angry and lose it. Because she has brainwashed me into feeling and believing I was crazy. And I tried to commit suicide in 2016 with my car just to get away from her because I thought I was better off dead. I would feel safer that way. Yeah, a lock they can't penetrate. Suicide is not a lock the narcissist can't penetrate. Because if you kill yourself, they win. All this anger, all this drug addiction is you trying to find a lock that they can't penetrate. And the only lock they can't penetrate is a lock they can't get to by going no contact. The only lock a narcissist can't penetrate is the one they can't get to. And suicide is not that lock. How do they not get to it? No contact. From them and everyone around them. Everyone. Okay, I tried to commit suicide in 2016 with my car just to get away from her because I thought I'd be better off dead. I would be safer that way. I did not feel safe on this earth, And when I failed to commit suicide, I really put a lockdown then, and then she would use the excuse, well, you don't have a car now, so that means I will have to take you places from now on. She has cut me off from everything and everyone. I don't have a life. My life has been mostly on the internet where I can get support and figure out the truth about all this, about why this is happening to me. Why do I feel this way? Questioning my sanity. Why doesn't anybody understand me? Why doesn't anyone believe me? I have been researching everything for 3 years, all day, all night. I had to do this alone because if I tried to say anything to my friends or any of my other family members, they would not believe me. The only true friend I had was the universe. The universe has been my best friend throughout all this. It has helped me this whole entire time. I owe everything to it. It saved my life, my sanity, my heart, my soul, and my mind. And for this Thanksgiving, the universe gave me the gift of discernment so that I could figure out what was the truth, and what was lies, and what was manipulation. And then I started looking up her behavior and came across Narcissist. And everything that I have been through describes the meaning of narcissistic behavior. This was a true eye-opener for me. And for the first time ever, I was able to express my anger while speaking the truth to her, and her not interrupt me. Even though she doesn't really listen to me or support the conversation, reassures me. It's like I'm talking to a brick wall. There's no empathy. It's just emptiness. Like no soul is present with her. Since I found this out, every conversation we have had, I have recorded, and I also recorded my thoughts about the things I remember, because I have a very hard time explaining things, and I would constantly forget, because my whole life I was forced to forget what all happened to me and pretend like everything is all good when it's not. She has turned everyone against me, my family, my friends, her friends, and people in public that she talks to. So therefore, I can't trust anyone because they will all agree with her, which is why I say you have to get away from all of them. From all of them. I live with her now, but I'm moving out as soon as I can. Even if that means being homeless, I don't care. It would be much better than living with her. It has been very unhealthy for me since I came into this world. My very first traumatizing memory was yelling, and I was only a few months old. I can still hear it in my ears because it was so loud that it hurt my ears. So that's where I am at with all this. I apologize for this being so long. I have kept this up. I have kept this in up till now. I just needed to get it off my chest. Not for attention or anything like that, but for my truth to be heard. And this ain't all of it. This is what has impacted me the most. I could write a book about my whole life, explaining every bad thing that has ever happened to me into every single precise detail, and quote everything someone has said to me that made me feel worthless, used, and taken advantage of. So, you have been your entire life trying to find a lock that your mother can't penetrate. And your mother, once locked, then relocks the door of your life from the inside. The only block the narcissist can't penetrate is the one they can't get to. And the only way to accomplish that is through no contact. Listen, I understand everything you're saying. I understand, and everybody on this channel understands that confusion, that fog that you're in, that inability to put into words what has been going on in your life until you find what narcissism is, and you learn the vocabulary and the vernacular of what gaslighting is, and flying monkeys and enablers and covert and overt and all that. And once you see the light, you realize I'm not crazy. We've all been there. Some have had worse journeys than others. Some have been addicted. Others, others use other addictions. We get it. I get it. But none of this is going to change for you. None of it. And I think you already realize it until you get them all out of your life. Your mother, your family, your friends, anybody who has contact with her, gone forever. Because the only lock the narcissist can't penetrate is the one they can't get to. So I hope that helps. Thank you, Kayleigh, for your contribution and your story. I really appreciate it. Thank you to everybody watching. Please leave any opinions or advice in the comment section below. And again, if you want your story read on the channel, you have a topic you'd like me to cover, a narcissist you'd like to expose, you'd like to have a private video made, or you'd just like to make a contribution to the channel in general to keep it supported, growing, and successful, because this channel survives 100% on contributions from all of you. Without you guys, all this goes away. So if you like what you see here and you want to see more videos like this, you know what to do with the PayPal and email links in the description box. Also, please like and share this video wherever you can. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't. And be sure to click the subscription bell to be notified of all my video uploads. I'm Ollie Matthews. This has been The Narcissistic Resistance. Take care.